सगाई
सबसे ऊंची प्रेम सगाई
सबसे ऊंची प्रेम सगाई
सबसे ऊंची प्रेम सगाई
ओ हरे रामा
रामा
हरे रामा
रामा
रामा रामा
रामा
हरे हरे
ओ हरे रामा हरे रामा 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 हरे हरे
हरे कृष्णा
कृष्णा
हरे कृष्णा
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 हरे हरे
ओ हरे
कृष्णा
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे
ओ हरे रामा
रामा
हरे रामा
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 हरे हरे
ओ हरे रामा हरे रामा 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 हरे हरे
ओ हरे कृष्णा हरे कृष्णा
कृष्णा
कृष्णा कृष्णा
कृष्णा
हरे हरे हो
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे
हरे रामा हरे रामा
रामा
रामा रामा
रामा
हरे हरे हो
हरे रामा हरे रामा 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 हरे हरे
ओ हरे कृष्णा
कृष्णा
हरे कृष्णा
कृष्णा
कृष्णा कृष्णा
कृष्णा
हरे हरे हो
ओ हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे
ओ जय माँ गंगे
गंगे
जय माँ गंगे
गंगे
जय माँ गंगे
गंगे
जय माँ गंगे ओ
जय माँ जय माँ गंगे
ओ जय माँ गंगे
गंगे
जय माँ गंगे
गंगे
जय माँ गंगे
गंगे
जय माँ गंगे हो
जय माँ गंगे जय माँ गंगे जय माँ गंगे जय माँ गंगे
ओ हर हर गंगे हर हर गंगे
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 हर हर गंगे ओ
हर हर गंगे हर हर गंगे हर हर गंगे हर हर गंगे
गंगे माँ
गंगे माँ
गंगे माँ
गंगे माँ
गंगे माँ
गंगे माँ
आंख बंद करके झूमते हुए गाइए
गंगे माँ
गंगे माँ गंगे माँ हे माँ हे माँ हे माँ बोले सर्वेश्वर भगवान की
जय,
गंगा मैया
की जय,
भारत माता
की जय,
धरती माता
की जय,
हर
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 महादेव। ओम जय गंगे माता मैया, जय गंगे माता, जो नर तुमको जाता, जो नर मैया जी को जाता, मन वांछित फल पाता। ओम जय गंगे माता। चंद्र सी ज्योत तुम्हारी, जल निर्मल आता, मैया जल निर्मल आता। शरण पड़े जो तेरे, शरण पड़े जो तेरे, सो नर तर जाता। ओम जय गंगे माता। एक ही बार जो तेरी शरणागति आता, मैया शरणागति आता। यम के ध्यास मिटा कर, यम के कष्ट मिटा कर, परम गति पाता। ओम जय गंगे माता। मंगलकारी मैया तू है सुखदाता, मैया तू है सुखदाता। तेरी गोद में आकर, तेरी शरण में आकर, मन शांति पाता। ओम जय गंगे माता। आरती मात तुम्हारी, जो जननित गाता, मैया प्रेम सहित गाता। दास वही असज में, भक्त वही असज में, मुक्ति को पाता। ओम जय गंगे माता। ओम जय गंगे माता मैया, जय गंगे माता। जो नर तुमको जाता, जो नर मैया जी को जाता, मन वांछित फल पाता। ओम जय गंगे माता।
the scriptures, the teachings of yoga, of meditation, have been around a lot longer than smartphones. And I mention this because a lot of us blame sort of our current life, our devices that are beeping, our messages, our emails, whatever it is, as the reason that we can't focus. Whereas all that is a new form of distraction. But we were distracted long before Bill Gates and Steve Jobs and these guys came around and gave us mechanisms for our distraction. Distraction is a product of the human mind. And so the sages and the saints have been talking about a monkey mind long before we had things beeping and buzzing and pinging and ringing and, to-do lists that were 10 pages. The monkey mind is really a product of the human condition. And this is important to remember because a lot of us feel very badly about it. Why can't I focus? Well, welcome to the human condition. But what we have in the practice of meditation and yoga is tools to give us, to help ourselves focus, to help quiet the distractions. And so whether it's a practice of mantra, whether it's a practice of the breath, whether it's a practice of reciting a prayer, whether it's an open-eyed practice of staring at a candle flame or staring at an image of the divine, whether it's a practice of total awareness of everything, whether it's a practice of walking meditation. There's probably an innumerable, if you look at all the different lineages and all the different teachers and all the different sampradayas, of ways to still the mind. What's important, though, is it's not about stopping the mind. It's a very subtle but very important distinction. Spirituality and meditation does not make us dull. It's not about how to take this incredible tool that I have and squash it or pretend I didn't have it. It's about how to use it. Because of course it is your mind that enables you to focus on your breath. It is your mind that enables you to chant a mantra. It is your mind that enables you to keep your eyes open and watch a candle flame. So it's not that the mind is the problem. It's that I don't have any control over my mind. And so interestingly, we speak about the importance of mindfulness. Well, look at that word. We're not talking about mindlessness. It's interesting. When we say mindless, that's obviously not where we want to go. You don't want to be mindless. You want to be mindful. Which gives us a clue of what meditation looks like. Is the mind is full, but it's full of what I want it to be full of, rather than out of my control, rather than this monkey that's jumping around aimlessly. And what the mind becomes full of, and this is where it gets a little bit more paradoxic and subtle in a way, full of is space, but space that is full. So it's not full of to-do lists. It's not full of facts and information. It's full of space. It's full of consciousness. And that's a very important distinction because it's not, meditation is not empty. So when we speak about a stillness of the mind, it's not a stillness that is just the absence of something. It's a stillness that allows the presence of something. It's a silence that's not the absence of something, but a silence that enables a fullness of something. And it's a fullness of who you are, which actually can only be experienced in the space that exists, in the opening, in the stillness. And so meditation is not about squashing and squishing and pushing. It's about opening and allowing. And so when we open and allow, but we have to use, or most of us do at least, something to give the mind something to do in order to allow for the spaciousness. So it's like if you've got a new puppy, or you've got a small child, and they're running around all over the place. It's very, very difficult to say, sit and stay still. So instead, you give them something to do. You give your puppy something to play with. You give your child something to play with. You give them something to keep them occupied. In the same way, the thinking mind needs something to stay occupied. And in that way, anything will do, as long as it's one thing. So a word, a phrase, a prayer, an image. But the mantra actually has a dual benefit, rather a triple benefit. A, on the most basic level, it's just giving your mind something to do. So instead of bouncing around, the mind is now on the mantra. But a mantra is much more powerful than just something for the mind to do. The mantras actually are a sacred science. And the mantra becomes really, for me, on a very visceral level, it feels to me like the mantra feels like a life raft, that when I'm drowning in the nonsense of my own mind, I can hang on to it. And it literally carries me across that ocean, from contraction into spaciousness, from frenetic energy into stillness. So the mantra becomes this vehicle into where I'm going, into that experience. And so mantras are very, very, very powerful. So I would suggest a practice of meditation that includes a mantra. If you have one from a guru, nothing like it. If you have a guru but you don't have a mantra from him or her yet, ask for one. If you don't have a guru, open yourself to the possibility of having one. If you don't have a guru and you're open but one hasn't yet appeared, choose any mantra. Choose something that speaks to you. Choose something that when you chant it, you're not only chanting it with your lips, but you feel it in you. Chant that. And the breath is a very, very powerful anchor. The breath anchors us. And it grounds us. And it stills us. If you ever find yourself in a stressful situation, if you find yourself chaotic internally, bring the awareness back to your breath, and almost instantaneously, there's a grounding. Not the breath here, but the breath down here, low in the abdomen. If you're breathing deeply, low in the abdomen, you're going to be grounded. It just happens. It's physiological. There's something about bringing the breath low and bringing the awareness to it that brings about a stillness. So do a mantra, do the breath, and then just keep doing it. Yeah, it's hard to focus in the beginning, but just keep bringing the awareness back. Every time you notice that it's gone somewhere, just bring it back. Usually what most of us do is we notice it's gone somewhere, and instead of bringing the awareness back, we start to berate ourselves. Oh my God, you're stupid. Look at this. You can't even do this meditation thing. You know, you're never going to get anywhere. This spirituality thing is not for you. And, you know, where we just had a momentary thought that we ended up hooked into for a minute or 2 minutes or 8 minutes. Instead of that, we now have a total obliteration of our meditation because of how we've started yelling at ourselves. And of course, once you start yelling at yourself, then you're like, oh, forget this, might as well, you know, get up and do something. No, stay seated and do something. Stay there. And in the beginning, if you need to set an alarm, set an alarm. कि जब तक ये alarm बजेगा नहीं, मैं उठूंगा नहीं. At which point, what happens is the mind realizes it might as well quiet down. It's not going to get you up. It's not going to convince you to do breakfast. It's not going to get you on social media. It's not going to get you on the phone because you've made a commitment that you're seated, that you're not budging till that alarm goes. And then it wanders, you bring it back. It wanders, you bring it back.